The quickest way to secure your AWS, Azure, and Google environment is to deploy the CIS benchmarks. If you're not familiar, CIS stands for Center for Internet Security, and they have this benchmarks for AWS, Azure, and Google. These benchmarks are essentially collections of best practices. Essentially, thou shalt do this or not do that with your AWS, Azure, Google environment. Like, let's take a look. Ensure no root account access key exists. Well, that's because you shouldn't be using root. Or that your IAM credentials, are no longer than 90 days because the employees that long ago have left the company are still having that access. So the odds are any good sys cloud, admin can figure out about half of them, but the other ones are pretty quirky. And so I do recommend deploying the CIS benchmark. Like, let's take a look at this one. Ensure log metric filter and alarm exist for AWS management console authentication failures. Okay, I get this one. And there is a long description here why it's a good thing to do. Same thing with Azure. We've got lots of Azure thou shalt, turn on your disk encryption, turn on your vulnerability assessment, things like that. So essentially, once you install the benchmark, Cloudaware will essentially deploy all of these policies into the compliance engine and start evaluating them for you. And same thing with Google. Lots of different Google Cloud Platform policies of what you should and should not do. For example, which one? Ensure that corporate login credentials are used instead of Gmail accounts. That is one of my favorite policies because we always catch people using their personal Gmail accounts to have access into corporate networks, into corporate Google Cloud projects. So I think between the three benchmarks is like 300 different policies. So if you don't want to deploy the entire benchmark, you can just deploy individual policies. I cover more of that in other videos. But what I want to stress right now as a sort of final thought is that you can go from nothing to add your AWS, Azure, Google accounts to deploying a benchmark in about 5 minutes. So you could go from maybe having an uncertain state of where you are from a security compliance perspective to having a pretty thorough benchmark just completely comb through every corner of your AWS, Azure, Google environment at pretty much just launch a Cloudaware trial and that's it. So this is pretty cool how you can go from 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds. Well, not 2 seconds, 5 minutes, but get a really good assessment as to what your security posture is with this cool benchmarks. And we constantly update them. So if you subscribe, you'll be getting like new policies and things like that. All right, I hope this was useful. Peace.